Namaste. Warmly welcome everyone to this weekend meditation course of True Self-Development. My name is Ruben and I'm representing yogameditation.stream, and this is a collaboration between various meditation schools both in Norway and UK as well as Canada. So we are very happy to have you here, have you join us, and this course will be a 3-day course, like you perhaps know. So we will be having a half-hour session today, on Saturday as well as on Sunday. Now for this course we have invited our dear friend and yoga master Balakiya Das to speak and to give you an introduction to the ancient wisdom of yoga that is so practical and useful, this knowledge in our own lives. So with those words, basically, we are going to start. In the first day today, we will speak, or Balakiya Das will speak on the topic of following the trends of society. Does it help me as an individual? So with those words, I'd like to again warmly welcome you to this course and also warmly welcome Balakiya Das. Thank you very much for joining, and I'll leave the word over to you from here.
Thank you very much, Ruben Haribol. Thank you for inviting me. And I thank every one of you who are joining this series. I think it'll be very beneficial for you because you're going to probably hear things you haven't heard before. Some ideas will be presented that are unfamiliar or unpopular ideas. So let's begin by offer my respects to my spiritual masters, Siddhasarupananda Paramahamsa and Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. I also like to make it clear I speak from the platform of Bhakti Yoga. And I like to begin our programs with a very easy meditation that we can all take part in to help us to relax, to make it so we can understand the subject matter a little more easily. And of course, so you can actually learn this meditation and apply it to your own life. The type of meditation we'll be doing is mantra meditation. Mantras are transcendental sounds. That means spiritual sounds. They originate in the spiritual realm and they descend into the material realm. When they come from the spiritual realm, they bring with them great spiritual power. Therefore, when we come in contact with this transcendental sound vibration, we automatically receive great spiritual benefit. So this is the easiest of all meditations, but at the same time, it's the most effective. The mantra we will be using is the mantra Gauranga. And for this meditation, we will divide Gauranga into 4 syllables: Go, Ra, Ang, Ga. Our technique is also very simple. It is a deep breathing technique. First, we inhale through the nose slowly and gently, but also very deeply. We want to take the air all the way down to the lower abdomen. And as we inhale silently in the mind, we will chant Go, Ra, Ang, Ga, very softly and gently in the mind. As our body fills with air, we will begin to exhale, and out loud we chant Go, Ra, Ang, Ga. And then we repeat. Inhale, Gauranga in the mind. Exhale, Gauranga out loud. Before we begin the meditation, we want to relax. To help us relax, we're going to take a big breath in and let it back out through the nose. Therefore, relaxing the face, the neck, shoulders, chest, and also the mind. So let your tensions, anxiety, fears go away with that outgoing breath. While we do the meditation, we want to listen closely to the sound and also put the mind on the sound. Meditate on the sound. Once you've learned the mantra, I suggest you close your eyes. This helps us to relax more deeply and, of course, prevents distraction. When we finish the meditation, just sit quietly for a few moments, eyes remaining closed, and simply feel the effect, the peace, the calm inside. Okay, I want everybody to get comfortable, whether you're sitting on the floor, on a chair, on a sofa, doesn't matter. Get comfortable. Try to eliminate as much distraction around you as possible. So simply follow my guidance. Everybody take a big breath, let it out, and relax. Now very slowly, gently, and deeply inhale. Chant Gauranga in the mind. Two more times. Haribol. Okay, so you can see this is a very easy meditation to do. Very simple. At the same time, very relaxing and very, very beneficial. So add it to your life. Early morning, wonderful time to do this meditation before you go to bed at night, but anytime during the day, whenever you want to take some shelter in this meditation, it's available because now you have it. It's yours. Okay, so this first class, I'm just going to present a few ideas that you will remember, and then we can continue on in our next classes without having to go over this. Number one, all this information that I present is based on the Vedic scriptures. So this is called Vedic knowledge. The Vedas are the most ancient of all scriptures, passed down through a line of perfect masters since time immemorable. And I don't speak from my opinion. I'm simply basing all the things that I say and really the way I live on these Vedic teachings. So the first thing they teach us in the Vedic knowledge is our identity. We should all ask ourselves the question, who am I? Nobody does this. Why? Because we already have an identity. We've been carrying it around since birth. See? And we think, well, of course, this is who I am. We have passports and driver's licenses and other documents to prove it. See? Everybody accepts that. But is it really who we are? See? And when we examine closely, we find it's nothing but a combination of many labels. We're just a walking label, see? And we get labels according to our age and our sex and our nationality and our, race and family affiliations and occupations and, whether we're married or single or have children or do not have children, and et cetera, et cetera. It just goes on and on and on. See? And labels come and go. Labels we might have had 10 years ago have been replaced with new labels. See? But if we look closely, we find this is all in connection with our material bodies. So, we have these material bodies which accumulate all these labels, and unfortunately we identify this body as being ourself. But the body changes completely every 5 years. All cells in the body are changed in 5 years, see. But we're the same person, year after year after year. So, the conclusion is, the scientists have proven it, the scriptures declare it, we are not our material bodies. At this point, we may decide to really go on a self-discovery journey, look inside, try to find who we are, and when we do, we find emotions, desires, feelings, our will, all this is inside. And so therefore we conclude, okay, I'm not the outside, I'm the inside, so I am this. My desires, my feelings, my emotions is the real me, see. But again, according to the perfect Vedic teaching, that's not correct either. This is actually another material body, see. It's called the subtle mental body, or sometimes it's referred to as the astral body, or the psychic body. But nonetheless, it's still a material covering. So we are still perplexed, right? Who are we? So again, the source of our knowledge, the Vedic scriptures declare that we are in a different category of energy. See, our bodies are material energy, but we are spiritual energy, a tiny little spark of spiritual energy. We learn that material energy is temporary, and everybody knows that. See, our body is very temporary, and we're always struggling with that reality. See, it gets old and it disappears, see. But we learn that spirit is eternal. Eternal means no beginning and no end, see. So therefore, we, being spirit, are eternal. We also learn that material energy is non-living. And again, that's easy to see. This microphone, for instance, is no life. However, we learn spirit is life itself. There's no such thing as live matter. There's no such thing as dead spirit. Therefore, we are the life force in the body. And as long as we're present in the body is called alive. But actually, this is not true. The body's dead. We are alive. And that becomes obvious at the time of death. At the time of death, we leave the body, and at that moment, the body reveals its true nature. It can't even sit in a chair. It falls on the floor. So, our true identity is spirit soul. Spirit meaning that we're spiritual in essence, this spiritual energy. Soul meaning the individual spiritual spark that we eternally are. We never become someone else, and we never cease to exist. So, understanding this, then it makes sense. We're spirit soul. We further learn we're a part and parcel of the Supreme Soul. There's actually a Supreme Soul from which we all come. We are known as the Atma, and the Supreme Soul is the Paramatma. So, this is the foundation of knowledge we need for this course, and the foundation of knowledge we need for life. Life is us. See, what is life? It's us. We are spirit. Life is spirit. We are spirit. Life is us. See? But it's so confusing, isn't it? We don't know what to do with it. We don't know where it came from. The scientists can't even define what it is. See? They come up with some vague explanation of life. See? But I've just told you in 5 minutes a very simple thing. It is us. Where did it come from? See, another perplexing question for the scientists and everyone else. See, again, not having information from the truth, they come up with another theory. Or it came from a combination of chemicals that somehow just came together and boom, everything blew up. And now we have what we have today. Solar systems composed of many planets, inhabited by so many different species of life, and each one with individual personalities and consciousness, and on and on and on it goes. A material body that's so complex is still amazing to the scientists. How could it be an accident? It's not an accident, see. And what's it for? This is a real perplexing one for everybody. What is the purpose of life? What is it for? If it's an accident, it means there's no purpose. So all these things plague us, you see. They keep us in a state of confusion. The easiest escape is don't think about it. Don't question. Don't ask questions. Just get busy on the outside. Get involved in what's going on around you. Set some material goals. Try to achieve those goals, thinking that if you do achieve that goal, it'll make you happy, and so on and so on and so on. See? Don't think, because if you think, you're going to come up with, I don't know, doubts, confusion, perplexity, etc., etc. So, basically, that's the theory of society. Following the trends of society, see? And that's what everybody does, because we're influenced by the external, you see. What we see, what we hear, what people tell us, other people suggesting things, you should do this, you should do that, promising us, this is going to be good for you. It'll be beneficial, don't worry. And we buy into it because we don't know anything else, And then we, in turn, influence other people. So everybody is influencing somebody else. Parents influence their children. You see, children influence the parents. You go to school and all your classmates influence you. See, the teachers influence you. And the sports stars and the movie stars and the movies themselves. And now we have the internet. You see, we've got all the way to be influenced by the internet. See, society is just the people that come together on planet Earth. This is society. So it's just a bunch of people with a bunch of different ideas of what? How to improve your life, how to be happy. See, everybody's looking for the same thing, how to be happy. Why is that? Why is it the person in the human body, the person in the dog body, and the person in the butterfly are all looking for the same thing? Happiness. Because it's the nature of us, the spirit soul. It's our nature. It's our eternal nature to be happy. That's normal, you see. And that's why no matter where the soul might reside, in a human body, a dog body, or a butterfly body, there's still the same motivation to be who I really am, a happy individual, you see. But in the different bodies, we had to find different ways to achieve that. So the animals don't think much about it, do they? They just go through life guided by instinct, and they do what they do. See? But when we reach the human form of life, now things become very interesting, because we've got very advanced intelligence. We've got very advanced mental facilities. We've got a very capable, dexterous body to implement all our thoughts and all our desires and achieve all our goals, and, you know, listen to the mind who is constantly promising me, you know, a new happiness. Or the last suggestion, you know, didn't work, but don't worry, you know, it will this time, and we believe it again and again and again. You know, run helter-skelter after the goal of happiness, you know. So, you know, society at, you know, some past time came up with the idea, if we get a very stable material life, you know, we get a good education, we go to school, you know, not just, you know, the lower levels of education, you must go higher education, you know. So we go to our universities and we get our, you know, bachelor degree. Oh, that's not good enough anymore. You see, you got to have a master's degree. You get that. Well, that's not good enough anymore. You got to get a doctorate degree. So we get one. Oh, you need another one. You get 2 or 3. You spend half your life in school getting all this, you know, education and all these degrees so you can go out into the world and just have a good time. You can be somebody. You can be successful. You can get good jobs, you know, along the way. You know, you should get married, and you should have a family, you know, and you should get a good house in the suburbs, you know, and so on. You know, in the 50s and the 40s after the Second World War, and, you know, kind of in the early ages of the 60s, that was it, you know. Get a house in the suburbs, you've got your education, you got a good job, you can support your family, you know, and live happily ever after. But it didn't make people happy. It didn't. You know, I was there, you know. And so then, you know, in the late 60s, people started questioning that idea, you know, that trend. I don't think so. My mom and my dad did that. You know, I was raised with them. They weren't happy. You see, we had that house in the suburbs and the station wagon and all those things. So then people started searching new frontiers, right? They went further afield to find happiness. The education and all that kind of like, they began to question that. See, that was the beginning of the hippie movement. That's when people started going into other areas of exploration. And that was basically not only physically, you know, move out of the cities and, you know, live in communes and everything society told us to do before, do the opposite of that, you know. So it was always, you know, be spick and span and clean and freshly cut hair and no beards and all that. Okay, all that, throw it away and just be the opposite, you see. Don't be clean. Don't have a house. Live on the street, live in the jungles, you know, build a tree house, live in a car, you know, don't wash your clothes. That's a waste of time. You know, grow your hair. Don't trust anybody that's got short hair. You know, question authority. Authority's weird. They don't know what's going on. We're tuned in. And so what tuned them in even more was the psychedelic era, the drugs, all the freedom. Everything you've been told don't do, do it. You see, and it expanded the mind, so to speak, and they went into, you know, astral dimensions, and they saw bright lights and, you know, had hallucinations of all types. you know, like space exploration from within. You know, the new spaceship with the latest LSD. And so therefore, they thought, oh, now the music changed completely. Everybody's thrown away all moral codes. We just do whatever we want when we want. Nobody tells us what to do, you see. But it didn't work either. You see, it didn't happen as it was supposed to be. And so kind of people dropped out of that. They dropped out of mainstream society into that world. And then they kind of later, when they were disappointed with the failures that took place, you know, drug addictions came and unwanted children came in abundance. And, you know, people got tired of being dirty and cold and no house and all those things. So they kind of dropped back in, so to speak. You know, and if they had an education, they tried to use it. Maybe some people went back to school. Maybe some people just got labor jobs, but at least it was steady. There was some income, et cetera, et cetera. And it became, quote, normal again. That was another trend, you see. And none of it worked. And then along came, after some years of that, you know, the cell phone era, you know, from, you know, very archaic big black boxes that you carried around that weighed about, you know, 5 kilos, you know, to the modern day little ones that are so smart that you don't even know how to use them. You know, the phones are much smarter than we are. But they've captured us. They've addicted us. They've got us so that we look at them all the time. That's the new deity. You know, this is the trend. You don't have a phone. You don't have a smartphone. You know, somebody pulls out an old phone, which before was, you know, high tech, you know, the kind with buttons you push and you flip open, you know, and it's got no internet connection. It's got just a phone. People laugh at you like you're some relic from the past. Like this dinosaur just walked into our midst. You know, we don't have to look at Jurassic Park to look at dinosaurs. There's one right standing in front of us. You know, trendy. See, we become trendy and we follow the trends. And who sets the trends? The people who make money from us following the trends. You know, clothes. Look how many times clothes styles have changed over the years. You know, from spick and span to dirty bell bottoms and, you know, funky hippie looking stuff. And then, you know, that went out and back into the kind of, you know, 80s look and on and on and on. And before that, it was the 50s look with the buffet hairs. But trends, you know, we're following trends. We're just like dogs running after a new bone. You know, everybody comes up with a new flavor of bone. The dogs run after it. Oh, this bone looks better than the last bone. You know, but it's just a bone, man. It's got some different shape or some different place. It's just a bone. There's nothing here. You know, it's all fake. It's all illusion. It's all temporary. So, though following the trends of society helped me as an individual, all the things I've talked about, no. It just makes you a clone. It just makes you a puppet, you know, to the people who are pulling the strings, you see. So next week, we're going to go a little deeper, you see. This is just the taste. This is just the lead-in. You know, we're going to have 3 different presentations and try to take you a little further in your understanding, really, of yourself. You know, you are an individual. You are eternally who you are. So we need knowledge to know what to do with ourselves. I don't know what to do with myself. So that's the ideas for the day. You know, time flies and we go along for the ride. So we'll see you tomorrow night. That'll be Saturday night, and we will continue. So now you've learned your meditation. You've learned the idea of your identity. We can progress further from that point. So thank you very much for joining, and see you tomorrow night. Namaste, Hari Bol.